All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm your brother, Mr. LJ, coming to you with another lesson titled Babylon is like the Titanic, destined for destruction. And this video, I put this together through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. It's taken a couple of days to actually get this video the way I wanted it to be completed. And each time I upload it up to YouTube, YouTube actually struck it down and gave me copyright violation. So this is the 12th version of this video. The original one that I had created was 30 minutes long, and it actually had live footage and feed from the movie The Titanic, and how this with cross references as it relates to Babylon, aka America, and currently what we are going through right now in this tribulation times, and also the tribulation to come in the future. So, as with all of my lesson, I do put the precepts in. In this one, I actually put the precepts in the video itself so that you can actually read along with it in case you have difficulty understanding my accent. Okay. Now, as you know, Babylon, aka the U.S., has enjoyed splendor and privileges through gluttony, greed, murder, pillaging, rape, sorceries, and deceit, and it can go on and on. This was the blessing bestowed on Esau, the father of the nation of Edom, which we now call the white people on earth today. And these are the ones with the bases all over the world, embassies and cultural influences, which includes abominable acts, decrees, and legislation touting those that fear Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. So Esau is a very wicked man. These heathen nations fallen with the Edomites, and they're going to get that judgment along with the Edomites. Okay, we'll move forward here. So, those of you who have watched the Titanic, you remember some of these scenes here. I basically shot these pictures in order to bypass Esau's copyright tracking system on YouTube, and it was because this is, of course, this is for educational purposes. There's no monetary gain for me in this, but Warner Brothers, Fox Movies, they wanted to stop it, wanted to block it. In this scene here, I'll set it up. In this scene here, you see, these Edomites are going to see the Titanic for the first time, and you can see that there's a lot of people around. There's music playing. There's balloons going up in the air, and they're very, very proud of their accomplishment. Okay, and that's the same thing you see today, right now. Great America, the founding fathers, and those people what they call the founding fathers, and the people when they came over to this land, they saw it as a place that's going to be of great wealth for them because it had all its natural resources, and they continue, and they would be able to thrive in this land, which they were not thriving out there in the Europe. So in this scene, you see this gentleman here. He looks up at the ship and says to the mother of this Edomite here, this female, that who's described as Rose in this movie, that God couldn't sink the Titanic. Okay, and that's blasphemy, basically right here. That shows you the proud heart of the proud minds and the proud heart of these people, And as you can see here, and I put in this precept here, Revelations 13:5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And you see here today, America is continuing on speaking those great blasphemies, setting themselves up as the Most High. Right now, they're talking about going to Mars. They got this space station set up here. They're looking to go around the globe and spread this vaccine to combat this invisible disease that is so contagious that you actually have to go and get a 3-foot long swab on the end of a stick, push up your nose and swivel around in your brains to actually discover that you actually may have this COVID-19 or vaccine, whatever they want to call it. So that tells you that just the wickedness of this proud man. So now, although we have been warned many times, and you have the prophets out here today warning Jake, hey, look, you need to get out of this. You need to wake up. You need to come out of this place, and not follow into the behavior of these wicked nations. Such as eating pork, shrimp. They advertise red lobster as like some delicacy. When you talk about a dinner, if you say you had steak and lobster, people hear the word lobster and they automatically always correlates that with somebody that's actually living the life. But these are all abominable acts. These are all things that we were told not to participate in. These are unclean things. Pig. What do they have? Barbecues. Okay, the seafood are very expensive. That when you eat those, you assume that you've made it. So in this scene here, we have Leonardo DiCaprio character here. He's Jake basically, and you can see here that he really works at the bottom of the boat, which is symbolizing the different tier layer of the society. So you have your super elites, you have your elites, you have your rich, you have your wealthy, you have your upper class, your upper middle class, and then it goes on and on until you get your real dirtbag or your homeless, beggar living on the street, sleeping on a cardboard box. Okay. And so the same thing with these ships. That's the reason why you see this inside the society today, where you purchase a ticket to go on a plane. It's first class or economy or super economy, whatever, or business class. It tells what status you are in life. So Jake, always striving to, get that pat on the back from Esau, always trying to get into to the rings or the inner circle of Esau right here. And so you see here in his character, he's inside the he infiltrated the dining hall where the wealthy eat. He got a little suit, a little tie on, and clearly inside this he doesn't really fit in. On the right, over here on the left, this is the mother of Rose right here, who's part of the high society. Okay, now remember these people in the high society here are not the men who are really churning out the evil plans and really really behind the control. Those are your bankers. We're talking about your Rothschild, Rockefellers and those. Now these are your high society people that we see on television. The famous people like your presidents or your stars or your celebrities or your scientists or your CEOs and those people. So Jake tries to get into this here, but clearly as you watch that movie, he didn't even know which fork was a salad fork and which spoon was actually meant for dessert. And Kathy Bates' character showed him how to do that. So you see that with the people like the Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, these guys, and Oprah Winfrey's. While they appear to be wealthy compared to us poor Jakes, they're in reality beggars, and really they don't really fit into really the society of Esau. And every now and then Esau let them know who they really are, which is you're a nigga. All right, and you'll see that coming up in some of these other photos here. So I like to bring out a script for this, Proverbs 3:31 and 34, and it says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, for the fraud is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly." So the thing that we can walk around with is that we may not be able to walk around and eat, $400 meals, or really, or even, sit down and sit in first class. But we know we have a heavenly kingdom that is something that we are going to inherit, which is that heavenly kingdom, place in there. So Yahawashi is giving us that grace to get to know him, to put faith and trust into him, and not in this wicked society, that he's going to bestow on us riches and glory and power during his reign here on earth in the heavenly kingdom, which is going to be forever. Okay, remember Esau only have a really short time. All right, so moving on. So as the scene goes on here, Jake takes the girl that Rose, who's really the fiance of the rich guy sitting at the table, who was pretty much chastising him and scorning him, and say, you know what, why don't you come and see the way, you know, we live, okay? So he takes her down here, and, you know, they're doing the dance and everything like that, and she's enjoying this. And this is similar to the way you see right now. Let's go back. Let me use something like this. Music. You know, we dominate music. When you look at the fact that, you know, all the music played today around the world, it was created by Jake, you know, who simply took, you know, a turntable and basically did scratching sounds and, you know, beats with the mouth, and created these new sounds that no one has ever heard of before. You know, you weren't listening to these honky tonk music, or, you know, so you got the Chinese, the Japanese, you get all these people, they dance like us. You know, they're not listening to that twing, 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 walking around in, like, you know, wooden high heel shoes and, you know, kimono on with an umbrella, you know, doing a little swan dance and stuff. And no, man, these you know, these people around the world, they're dancing the music that was created by Jake. You know, the same thing too with you know, sports. We dominate that. So they get to have the privilege of enjoying that. So this rich girl gets to come and have that privilege where they're enjoying it. But at the same time, too, she knows that she can go back up to the upper deck, because that's where she really belongs. And so you're seeing these Edomites right nowadays. They come inside the ghetto. They come and, you know, they want to shake hands with you, and, oh, we're all cool and all of that stuff and that. And this is what puts Jake to sleep. Because remember, Jake is always looking for, you know, that pat on the back. You know, hey, well done. You know, we're always looking for, you know, that, you know, acceptance by these people, you know, because we see where they're at the bottom. You know, we're sweating down there in that boiler room, you know, keeping the ship going, you know, which is the same as America. What kind of jobs do we have? We have, you know, cleaning shit, you know, in hotel rooms, you know, raking people's yard, you know, picking up the garbage, you know, always in the servitude, low level place. And this is the reason why this is where we're at. And we see that these people are eating, you know, a plate of food that costs more than your entire salary for the week, and actually leaving some of it on the doggone plate. I mean, they have so much that they're actually throwing away food. Okay, I can remember. I'll give you a story. I remember my first job I had was a busboy, and I remember I took the plate from these Edomites who said they completed their meal, and I looked at it, and it was shrimp scampi. You know, of course, back then, you know, I was eating that kind of food. You know, we're talking like, you know, multiple decades ago here, without giving out my age. So I said, "Are you gonna eat that?" And they go, "No, we're done." And I go, "You're done?" They go, "Yeah, you can throw it away." I go, "You're throwing this away?" I couldn't believe people actually threw away food. I couldn't believe it. You know, because this was like a $22 plate of food, you know? And it took me an entire day to make $22, and they were throwing away in 1 minute what it took me an entire day to earn. So, you know, that in itself, from that experience, is what created, you know, personally speaking, my lust after going after their life, because I saw they had the ability to even throw away food, you know? So this is what keeps Jakes awake. So, but while all of this is going on, you know, while there's this integration process right here, as we all know, Babylon is a so-called melting pot. You know, hey, everybody come in, you bring what you want to bring into the table. Okay, it's almost like this big buffet line here. You know, you bring what you want to bring, and we all live together. Yet still, we, the Israelites, are at the bottom constantly, and always at the you know, always a joke of everybody else. You know, we live in the ghetto. Yet still, you know, the Moabites can come there. You know, the Israelites, they can come there and they prosper, and we don't. Okay, so now while that is going on, and Esau actually has this consistent party going on. You know, everyone's dining, eating, getting married. You know, Jake is trying to, you know, impress Esau and it spread his life. You know, there's danger that's lurking. There's a judgment that's about to come. And see the people at the top. You know, and right here in this scene here, you can see these the sailors who actually were steering the ship. Okay, they see that there's a danger that's coming, and you can see they understand what is about to happen, and now they're scrambling. Before I move forward with that, you can go Matthew 5:43. You have heard that it had been said, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy." We're not supposed to show these Edomites, you know, and invite them into our house and into our lives and stuff like that. Okay, and every time Jake does that, what happens? They take and they steal. This is what happened to Gad. You know, Gad trusted the Edomites, and look what happened. You know, millions murdered. Okay, you know, I'll give you an example. Okay, Eminem, he's an Edomite. All right. Somebody say, oh, he's a J because he can, he got swim suave, whatever. He's an Edomite. All right. And his rap is popcorn rap, crap rap. But yet still, people like him, Taylor Swift, they sell hundreds of millions of records, and they have hundreds of millions of dollars, while people like Redman and these other guys and stuff who've been around, and Wu-Tang Clan, who've been around for decades, are broke. These guys are broke. They invented those things, and they're broke. Why? Because they bring these Edomites into it and teach them our ways. All right, they trust them. Okay, so here, look what's going on here with this with these Edomites. Okay, because they see what's going on at the top. Okay, and they know what is coming to them. They know, they're entertaining everybody. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 8:13 says, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High, Yahweh. Okay, and so, as you know, the premise with this Titanic movie was the fact that this ship was on its maiden voyage. Okay, and it was a voyage that ended in perdition, as we'll see. And the same thing with this nation. This nation is very young, yet still being a young nation of only less than 240 years, it dominates the world in everything. Okay, military, financial, everything. It is huge, and that is why I relate this to the Titanic. Moving on. Okay, now keep in mind here, I'm going to start with a precept before I explain this scene here. Psalms 83:3 says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Okay, Esau is always consulting to do wicked with us. Okay, even when it looks like they're doing good, it's wicked. All right, when they infiltrate you and they come to learn your culture, really what they're doing is they're coming and really stealing it. So I hate, it's very interesting that they like to come out and say, talk about intellectual property, when in reality, they're the biggest stealers and the biggest thief of intellectual property. Okay, name something that they actually really invented. Okay, of course they have the printing press. They're gonna put their face there. It's the same way they put, Jesus Christ as a savior instead of Yahawashi. They put, God, which is basically gold, oil, and drugs, as the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh. Okay, all angels are these little fluffy little faggots with little tails and little wings and flying around like butterflies and stuff like that, which is far from the description of what the Bible describes angels are. Okay, angels are fearsome. Okay, but even they tremble before the throne of the Most High. Okay, they tremble before the throne of the Most High. So, okay, so you can see here what actually happened in the previous scene here. In the previous scene, is that they seen the iceberg coming towards them. Okay, and what that iceberg is, that's his judgment. That's the judgment that's coming. Okay, on this kingdom. Okay, and they know that it's coming, so they're preparing. Okay. And so you can see here right now that judgment right now is playing out right now in 2021. In fact, actually, it's been playing out for a while, but right here in 2021, it's played out. And you see the flood is coming in right now. So you see a flood of things going on. You've got the COVID, you've got the economy, you've got, the multiple homeless around these cities that is so bad. Right now, you're breeding up these rats and disease, new type of diseases that's coming out because so many people are displaced. Okay, but in the meantime, guess what Esau's real target really is? Us. Okay, and especially the house, the elect. Okay, the chosen ones. Okay, the ones that are bringing out this truth, the ones that are standing up boldly daily. Either on a highway and byway. And the highway and byway is what? The internet highway is an internet. The internet is an internet highway and byway. Okay, putting these lessons up, putting your job on the line, putting your life on the line. Okay, bringing out this truth. That's what we are commanded to do, to stand up as bold as lions, fearless, loud. Okay, so we're not concerned about Esau and what he can do to us. We're concerned about Yahawashi and what he can do to us if we don't do what he tells us to do. Okay, so you can see here Jake, as though Jake go hand in hand with Esau and wants to be part of that. Esau has always been plotting to kill us, and as you can see in this scene here, what happened to Leonardo DiCaprio's character here. In the end, he's tied up to a pole, and this guy has a gun to his head when the ship is doggone sinking. So even today, you seeing what do you see going on right now? Murdering. They still murdering our guys. All the marches, civil rights movement, Black Lives Matter, all that stuff is not going to save us. The only way we are going to be saved out of this is through Yahawashi, Yahawashi, putting our trust into him. Okay, someone we have never seen before, but we have to put our trust into him. Okay, that he's going to deliver us. Okay, hold hands in hands with these Edomites is not going to do that. As you can see here, the flooded water is coming in here over here on the left. Okay, and that symbolizes the fact that these Edomites can't prevent what is going to happen to them. So there are casualties of these Edomites already right now. Look, 20 years ago, you would never see Edomites on the street living in a tent. Now you go in LA, you go to San Diego, you go to San Francisco, any of these big cities, and what do you see? A lot of Edomites are now walking out there, okay, begging for money. Many of them right now, because of this COVID, we can't kick you outside the house, thing that Biden and Trump have put into place. These Edomites actually live inside a house right now, but they're like in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. I have no way to paying it off. And sooner or later, they are going to become the victim of themselves, which is actually that judgment that's coming from Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Okay? So it says, 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking whom he may devour. Okay? And those of us in the truth, we're constantly on the watch out. Okay? We're looking at what's going on in the headline. Okay? We're listening to those conversations a little bit different. We're looking at that, address to the nation that Biden came up with a day or two ago. We're looking at that very different from the rest of the people in this country are looking at it. Okay? Or the rest of the world looking at it. Okay? Because we're looking at plots. Okay? We're deciphering. Okay? Why? Because we have the spirit in us to do that. All right? So you can see here, even the Edomites, and you've seen it all over the web right now, and also even in those news press, where they're questioning their leaders and going, hey, what the hell? Why are we still wearing a mask when there's vaccines out there? Why is the economy not going up? Why is it that the gas prices are going up, but yet still this country a couple of years ago went and invaded multiple countries and took the oil, and also have oil shale up in North Dakota, so we actually have enough oil to actually sell to different countries. Yet still the people here are paying $8-9 for gas in certain parts of this country. Okay, so what's going on? And you notice that one of the things that caught my attention in that movie was the fact that there was always this reference to time, and you can see here this clock is saying 19 minutes to midnight. All right, 19 minutes to midnight. So Esau, Esau know what time it is. You ever hear, what time it is? Okay, Esau knows what time it is, because he knows his time is short. Okay, and these Edomites are sounding like, pay attention. Okay, so you have some of these Edomites right here on the deck of the ship looking and saying, wait a minute, what's up with that? We shouldn't be close to this iceberg like that. And because why? They felt the trembling of the ship. Okay, when it had the initial impact. But what they don't realize is that because they're on the upper deck, okay, which features the upper level people, the upper class of people in this society, they don't realize that many of the men down below, the people down below who actually keep the ship operating, has perished. And so they don't realize that their, joy and mirth and music and dining and festivities is about to come to a horrible end, and they'll get their judgment. Okay? In Jeremiah 10:2 says, thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So we see what's going on right now. We see the job market is crap. We see that they're going to keep pushing this vaccine out and this vaccine out, and the fact that there's not going to be a normal. The normal is what you see going on right now. You take the job, you have a job. You don't take the job, you don't have a job. You can't go to school. You can't go to school. You can't get a job. You see, it just rolls around and around and around and around, because if you're like a gerbil and you go on that little wheel inside it like a hamster, you just throw it around and around and around, go absolutely nowhere, just working yourself to death. Okay, so you can see here, going on in this scene here, the captain and the pilot of the ship, okay, which symbolizes your elites and your presidents and your puppet people. They're making that decision on what to do. Okay, they realize that the end has come right now. Okay, and so they're making that decision. Okay, we're gonna have to take heavy casualties. And so what they did, they decided to, over here on the left, you can see here, is they sealed the bottom of the ship so the ship wouldn't sink fast enough. What does that symbolize here today in America? Okay, that symbolizes the fact that as long as people have jobs and stuff like that, that they don't realize that there's countless of millions of people out there on the street. They don't go through those areas. Okay, Notice that the news doesn't show you what is actually going on. This captain of the ship is not going to tell the surviving passengers, the passengers on the upper deck, hey, look, we've got all our crew dead pretty much down below. In order to save y'all, we have to actually sacrifice them. And that's what you see going on right now. Okay? People are not aware. As long as you have a bed to sleep on, food to eat, you can watch television, you got running hot water like that, people think that everything is okay. And that's the subtlety of Esau. That's how he does things, okay? So that's why Revelations 8 and 13 says, and I beheld an angel and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound. Now, in lessons when you watch with the elders and the brothers and the prophets out there, of course, they're talking about World War 1, 2, and 3, which is yet to come. In this concept, in this lesson here, I'm adjusting it to emphasize what is going to happen here inside the destruction that's coming here to the Titanic, which is symbolic to the destruction that's coming here to America at World War 3. Okay, so right now they've made that decision that they're going to seal the bottom of the ships in order to keep it afloat for a little bit longer, and that's what you see where these stimulus checks are. Okay, these stimulus checks and all this talk about putting $2.1 trillion and Trump has put $5 trillion and then Biden put $3 trillion and then now he's looking to do the greatest infrastructure that's going on. But you need to take that vaccine. Okay, you need to take that vaccine. Okay, that's the only way we can get back to normal. Now, in the meantime, what they're doing, and if you know anything about DUM, which stands for Deep Underground Military Bases, in the meantime, what they're doing is they're actually storing all the food. Okay, because remember, the elites are going. They're going to be the elites and the people that actually put us into slavery. That is going to be preserved to be the first ones to go into slavery when Yahawashi returns and checkmate Esau. Okay, so in the meantime, right now, all these CEOs and these CEOs of these corporations, they've already purchased their underground base and stuff, because right now you got Russia, which are the Medes that are going to be coming upon here soon. You got Moabite, which is the Chinese, flexing their muscle and saying, look, we see you're bleeding, you're old, it's time to get you out of the way. We want to be next. Okay, I got next. And that's what Putin is going around and saying. So they're preparing right now. So in the meantime, while they're telling all the people, hey, calm down like that, and they're not aware of the fact that all the people at the bottom are already dead or drowned because they had to seal them down below there. Okay, which is a lot of our people and a lot of even the Edomites them. They're putting these people on these lifeboats. Now remember, there's enough lifeboats really to save everybody, but they're getting the elites off first. Okay, and if you want to remember a movie like Greenland, Armageddon, and several of these other disaster movies, what do they always do? They always get the important people, builders, your best architects, your best computer designers, all those people, and they put them up in cave. So when civilization, when the event goes by, they have these people to restart civilization again. The rest of the dumbasses, they don't really give a crap about it. But yet, so these people are so willing to follow this man into hell and destruction. So you can see here, the people are looking and going, okay, tell us what to do right now. Oh, wait. What does Esau like to do when there's an impending judgment coming, or when the judgment is going on? He distracts you. So he's distracting. He's opening back up the stadiums and saying, "Hey, you need passport right now to show you're vaccinated. Oh well, maybe you don't need it. They can decide if they want to. We're going to open it up in stages. Okay, we're going to open up. We're going to have these different tiers: blue, green, yellow, red, whatever." And have you go back to the mall, and we're going to open up school and classroom. And that's the same way you see with that. What's that happening in this movie? They start playing the music, okay, putting people to sleep. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We got it under control. Okay, while they get the important people off the boat. Okay, so Ezekiel 33, verse 32 to 33 says, "And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that had a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not." Okay, and that's us. That's Jake. Jake doesn't want to listen. Okay, Jake doesn't listen to the prophets. Doesn't listen to the warning that's going on out there. Jake wants what Esau has. So even though Jake is seeing this, Jake doesn't take heed. Okay, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Okay? Notice in bracket. I didn't do this. I just copied this right out of the scriptures. All right? Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. And what is a prophet? Anyone that can speak this truth. Anyone that's been given the wisdom and spirit to speak the truth. Yahawashi raised men, each in order, okay, to teach the next one, the next one, the next one to go out there and teach, okay? And that's what our job is as men, okay? Our job as men is to go and wake up our young lost Jakes who are part of the elect, our lost sisters who are part of the elect, to warn this nation of the judgment that's pending, and to warn all these heathen nations the judgment that's pending, okay? The fact that you're being lied to, okay? But, as time goes on, everybody's falling asleep. They're going back, trying to go back to this normal. People going out. A year ago around this time, there was no traffic on the road. Now you're going on there. There's a lot of traffic. There's activities going on. Hey, you just have to wear a diaper on your face and you're good to go. That's going on right there. In the meantime, now remember, Esau realizes that Yahawashi is coming back. He realizes his end is coming, but yet still, like in this picture, in this frame right here, you see the captain right here. Even though, the ship is nearly underwater, filling up with water, he's still holding the steering wheel, symbolizing what? That's Esau doesn't want to let go of the power he has right now. Okay, he doesn't want to let go. He's gotten this by rape, pillaging, deceit, sorceries, murdering, gluttony, greed. He doesn't want to let go. Okay, and notice again, time. And this was emphasized throughout this movie, time. And I didn't catch this when I watched this 20 years ago. I didn't catch it when I watched it 15 years ago. I caught it when I was actually creating this lesson. I started looking, going, wait a minute. I started looking at these frame shots and going, time. All right? And it symbolized the fact that this man knows he has a short time. Okay? And so as you can see here, as these judgment comes upon this nation, okay, and come on Esau, and Jake is going to get caught up in the middle of it. Okay, the 2/3 that don't listen, that the 2/3 that's prophesized to go down. Okay, you're going to see that, what Luke 21 and 22 says. Man side failing them for fear and for looking out for those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven should be shaken. And what is it? They know now that this judgment is the earth here, and for this movie and for this lesson is symbolizing the Titanic. This judgment is coming to Titanic. Okay, that it is sinking. And the heavens will be shaken, okay? There's water starting to come in, the waves, okay? So they know what's going to come. Okay, now remember in the early part of this presentation, this rich guy, he said, God couldn't sink the Titanic, okay? But now look at the fear on his face, okay? Here he is, okay? I put his picture here, okay? And I put his picture here, and I put this arrow here so that you can see. Here's a cocky, perky face here, boasting, and here is the sheer terror of when Yahawashi come and they realize, oh crap, this is it. All right, this is the musician. Everybody is now terrified because see right here, you look in this real close right here. Okay, the water is now on the upper deck. Now remember, they weren't panicking as long as the water was down the lower deck and all those people were dead. That's the same thing with these people today. As long as you have money to spend and food to eat, Jake doesn't care, or nobody around the world cares. It's business as usual. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to have a house. I'm going to buy a house. Okay. They're not putting in the news, the destruction that's about to come. Take a look at what happened. Okay. And this is America right here. This is the judgment right here. As you can see, the Titanic now is splitting in half. Okay. And they now know that this is coming. This is now the end. So Proverbs 18 and 12 says, before destruction, the heart of man is hardy, and before honor is humility. These were very hardy people. All right. In the movie, and in my original presentation, they were laughing gleefully, eating, caviar and all the other different things. And now this is in only 24 hours. This is where they're at right now. Okay. In absolute horror. Okay. So I'm going to read this precept as you look at the screen right here. Before I go into this, Revelation 6, 15 to verse 17, verse 15 to 17. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rock, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. And we know the Lamb is Yahawashi. for the great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand? So at this stage right now in the Titanic movie, as you're going to see as we move towards these judgment here in America, just before those missiles hit here, and those earthquakes and the famine and the beast coming out to kill people, and lawlessness takes place as nobody's listening to these whacked out governors of these states, or even the presidents, or whatever the case, and people fighting the military, and it's just slaughtering. And this big country, once the number one wealthy country of the world, becomes even lower than a third world country, okay, as it implodes on itself right now. And that's what you see what happened to the Titanic. It's split in half and it starts imploding itself, and you can see the terror of these people. I mean, they are absolutely terrified. These people still on the boat did not get on the lifeboat. The Jake is still here. As you can see, this is Jake right here. Okay, that's Jake right there. Jake had the opportunity to get off the boat. Leonardo DiCaprio had the opportunity to get off the boat. He was swift. He could get off the boat, but he wasn't listening. That's like how people not listening to the prophet, not to listen to one. They want to be hand in hand with Esau. They want to get the pat on the back. They want to live his life. Jake wanted to live with the life of the rich girl. The rich girl symbolizes Esau. Okay, these Edomites. He wants to be with her. So he doesn't get off the boat. He doesn't accept this truth. Jake doesn't want to accept this truth. All right? So he's deceived. Listening to the music. He enjoys that. Okay? So my favorite part that comes towards the end of this is what Revelations 18 and 10 says, standing afar off for the fear of our torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And how coincidental, the Titanic sank on the first day it sailed. Why? Well, I got, my wife told me that the backline story of the Titanic was that, the Titanic actually wasn't really actually built from scratch. It was actually a salvage ship that actually became the Titanic. And I went and looked it up, and it's true. Okay, so it had a whole lot of issues that's going on with it, along with a wacky-tacky crew that didn't see the danger that was coming. They were too enthralled in the fact that they had duped a lot of people into coming onto a ship that was destined to be the greatest ship ever built on earth. And that's the same thing with America. America was not founded by these Edomites. America was stolen, but through rape, murder, and robbery. Okay, the soil that you walk on right now on America has the blood of the Israelites on it. Okay, has the blood of the Israelites on it. So bottom line is that it reigned supreme for a very short period of time. And that supreme that time is coming to an end right now. Okay, because it's not built on solid ground. Okay. And this scene shot here, I love this scene shot. This is the ass end of the Titanic going down in the ocean. And the guy that created this movie, I think James Cameron, I mean, he did a brilliant job with this, because this movie sent a very clear message when you look at this from a spiritual perspective right here. As they boast that this ship was unsinkable, and right now all you see is the word Titanic as it sinks into the freezing ocean right there, like that. And I thought this was just beautiful, and I could see why this movie made $2 billion, okay, when you actually look at this movie, okay? And there it is right there. And Revelations 18:21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And there it is right there. This city is not found anymore, okay? And that's all that's left. It completely and utterly disappear. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for tuning into this lesson. Until the next time, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Give some thanks to the teachers, my teachers, and the elders at Great Millstone, and the brothers that learned from them, that I learned from. And all of you brothers out there that are posting and edifying the sheep out there. I thank all of you. Let's continue in this faith. Let's not fall asleep. Let's not go down with America. Let's not go down with Babylon, and continue on in this truth. And with that, I'd like to say Shalom, DTA, Abal Babal.